I'm going to do it. I'm going to officially declare us in Open Championship week, the earliest I've ever done it. It is my time, 7:47 a.m. on a Sunday. There's still a PGA event to be played today. I don't care. I'm declaring it, Greg. I'm moving on.
It's time.
It's time.
I got to wait till Wimbledon's over. I've got Alcaraz and why doesn't, well, they're in the second set. Why doesn't Prince William shave his head?
Oh, you think he should give up on the hope already?
Just go full Brian Harmon.
Now I got to find what channel. No,
this seems like seems like your wheelhouse, Patrick. Do you have any answers for the Prince William question?
I guess you could also ask Tiger that question as well.
Sure.
I agree with you. I think Van Pelt's been very open about his situation, and he went full shave. And I think you got to make the leap. It's a scary one. It's a big one.
Yeah, you go. I mean,
right.
you could go full David Justice. Still look great.
It works. It works for some people too. So I'm with you. But I mean, do we want to talk about the royal family right now?
Why wouldn't we?
Okay. I mean, Meghan Markle. You guys see that Spotify deal? What happened there?
No, I didn't. But what I did see was I don't think she goes by Kate Middleton anymore. She has like a much more official name now, the Duchess of something.
Of Wales. Okay.
She did this bit for before Wimbledon where like she was being taught how to be a ball girl
by Fed, right?
Federer, and yeah, like she's pretty good. She's got hands. She was snatching balls out of the air, which you're not allowed to do, but she was good.
I think Fed should be the king of England.
I thought Tommy should be the king of England.
Well, Tommy is the king of England, but I'm saying that Fed should be.
He seems like a cool guy.
Who's the royal family of golf?
In what sense?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Well, Tiger.
Tiger is the king.
Just Tiger.
King. Patrick Reed is the jester.
I mean, Justin Thomas has got it. I mean, is he the prince first in line?
No, Rory's the prince.
I thought Rory was the prince. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Rory can be the prince.
Rory.
Yeah. Such benevolence from you, Greg.
Greg, are you on this bandwagon or not? Come on, Rory's the prince.
I forgot about Rory.
Yeah.
I thought McIntyre won.
Bobby Mack is like he's like a I don't know what he is. He's like a page.
Who's the redheaded the son that's not in line to the throne?
Prince Ari.
So who's the Harry? I feel like just not really all that well left.
I feel like honestly that's kind of got to be P. Reed, and then Meghan Markle can be Justine.
Well, I was gonna say it's Cam Smith is Harry. He kind of just goes and does his own deal, and like he's still some people love him, some people hate him.
His family's kind of pushed him to the
ostracized. Yeah, I think it's Cam.
That's pretty good. All right. Well, listen, we're going to play an Open Championship. There, a week from right now, a claret jug will be handed to someone on the 18th green at Royal Liverpool. Maybe we'll start there, Patrick. Royal Liverpool, awesome. It's going to be very different than St. Andrews. I think it's going to be a very difficult driving test. Obviously, last time we were here, it was Rory who was getting that claret jug.
I look at that 2014 leaderboard, and another championship comes to mind immediately. And
US Open.
No. He's gonna say the players.
Correct.
Yeah.
You see Cam, Rory, Ricky, Sergio, Jim Furyk that one year when
Adam Scott.
He battled Rory, Adam Scott as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's going to set up for a great championship. You have Cameron Smith, who we mentioned. He's playing great golf. He just won on Live Golf London. Scotty Scheffler's playing great, obviously, and Rory coming back. So I think the par 3 17th, that's the one big change. I think what's cool I read is one, Hoylake has identified great champions whenever it's hosted it, and it's never played the same. Something's always been different each time they've come back, and this time it's that par 3 17th, which I think with the tournament on the line, having an uphill wedge shot into a tricky par 3, it could make people look brilliant and it could make people look stupid. And it'll be a real test of nerves, especially with wind whipping around. Hopefully we get windy conditions. The long-term looks that way. And if that's the case, I think it will be a very memorable Open.
The 17th, Craig, is a brand new hole. And then they'll obviously play 18, which I think is the 5 back towards the clubhouse. But this is, I mean, there's so many different storylines. Obviously, Rory has injected another one. Yeah, we are going to get the live guys for the last time. The fact that this is the last major championship that we're going to have until April, I mean, it's going to be a proper one.
Absolutely. And you think about, I mean, from the live guys perspective, this is really your last chance to make a push for the Ryder Cup, right? You know, Brooks can cement himself on this team with a great performance, and some of the other guys like DJ and maybe Patrick Reed can put their name into the hat. So that's a very interesting storyline. I do like the champions that Liverpool has created. This is where Tiger hit only 2 drivers for the entire week in 2006. And the golf course offers a lot of opportunity for some strategy, right? Rory took a very similar strategy. This is the event he was watching at the U.S. Open, where he wasn't kind of wailing away at driver on every single hole. So it's very cool, a very unique style. One of the I think it's probably the 3rd most difficult event to predict, the Open Championship, because of weather.
Behind the players and what?
The match play.
Oh, yeah.
The match play is probably the first, but it has something to do with the golf course.
Yeah, I think what you're saying checks out, Greg, because I was going back and looking at just who's finished in the top 10 over the last 5 years, and nobody's done it, or over the last 5 Opens. So it goes back to, I think, 2017 when Spieth won at Birkdale. Nobody's done it 5 times. Only Spieth has 4 top 10s. Rory and Brooks have 3. DJ, Kuchar, Bobby Mack, Fleetwood, and Finau have 2. And then 32 guys, including Tiger, have 1. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the last 5 years of PGAs, US Opens, and Masters, you wouldn't get as many names in that 1 top 10 category. You'd get there would be more consistency in terms of guys who, like, you'd have a couple of guys that finish in the top 10 all 5 times, and more guys that did it 4 times than 3 times. So I think that sort of checks out with what you're saying there, Greg.
Yeah, it's just so variable. It's so random, in a good way. And it's different. Like the wedge shot at 17, the wedge shots on links golf play so much different, right? The ball responds differently on the greens. The yardages that you're trying to land it are just different. The shots that you hit around the greens, the bunker shots are a totally different test. And I think that aspect is really cool and creates a great Open.
Outside of Rory McIlroy, Patrick, what's one of the more interesting winning storylines here, right? Is it a first timer of Xander, Victor, Cantlay? Is it Morikawa getting a 3rd major? Like what are some paths to some really good outcomes?
It's hard to look past Brooks Koepka, in my opinion. I know he already won the PGA Championship, but every time he tees it up in one of these, he has another chance to just cement himself as one of the greatest champions of all time. And if he were to win this one, well, next April, he'll have a chance at the career Grand Slam. So I think for me, it's Brooks Koepka. I think Cameron Smith has a very real chance to go back-to-back. We haven't seen that since Harrington. Rory obviously couldn't defend his at St. Andrews after a little kickabout situation in 15. So I think those 2 players, those 2 storylines are the biggest for me. And I actually really like what Greg said regarding the Ryder Cup. If somehow, Bryson DeChambeau is playing some great golf right now, I think Hoylake could be a great fit for him. Taylor Gooch as well. How could we forget about him? Live Golf Andalucia champion. And I think Dustin Johnson's form is flying very much under the radar.
Yeah.
And for a U.S. team that is not as strong that it looked 6 months ago, someone with his experience and just going 5-0-0 at the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, I think, Dustin Johnson's talent in general, I think deserves more than 2 major championships. And for him to cash in on one in this type of form, I know they're all live boys, but they're also some of the more intriguing guys in professional golf.
I think Cam going back to back, right? Because it hasn't happened since 07-08 with Patty, who might be on the Ryder Cup team. And he's somebody that it's hard to properly evaluate the live guys, just as it's sometimes hard to properly evaluate how somebody's playing on the European tour, and then they come into like a bigger event with all the best players, and you're like, I don't really know. But Cam, top 10 at the PGA, top 5 at the US Open, and he's been top 12 in his last 8 starts overall worldwide. And he's playing really, really good golf. And this is a major that seemingly would fit him better, just because you don't have to be really like long and straight off the tee necessarily. Now there's some holes at Hoylake. You think about the internal OB hole, I think it's 3, where you do have to employ some accuracy off the tee, but man, he's just the defending champ playing great golf. I think he's a fascinating storyline going into next week.
Yeah, 3 is going to be fun. Josh, if you want to, how do I share? Okay, if you want to share my screen, this is that internal OB where you've got there's literally just a wall here, and you have to decide how much you want to take off, Greg.
That's sick.
The corner's 240. This one here is 300, and the more you bite off, the further you got to hit it.
Which one is 300? The furthest right?
Third one.
Okay.
That's like to the middle of the fairway. So that's the line for middle of the fairway, basically.
It's fascinating. It kind of has there's something different about OB than water, but it's not dissimilar to some of the holes. They're usually on the other side, like 18 at the Players, where it's water up the entire side. You got to decide how much you want to bite off. It creates intrigue, and somebody's going to make a big mistake there. No question about it. But I think of how's Rory McIlroy going to play that hole. The patient, even though he has plenty of club head speed to take it over all of that, I could see Rory laying back there, playing to the wide side. It seems like there's definitely a smart way to limit risk strategically. But a lot will depend too on the conditions, and this decision may be made for you. Given if it's straight downwind, you're going to hit driver.
Yeah.
And all that goes out of play. So we'll see what we get conditions wise.
Conditions. We're all going to play meteorologist for the next handful of days. We're going to have plenty more conversation around the 151st Open Championship. But before we get out of here, gents, any final thoughts on the Scottish or the Open or anything else?
John Rahm might be in shambles with all this internal OB, the king of TIO.
The TIO king. I haven't picked Rory for a major this year. I genuinely think he's going to win by like 5 next week. Like, I really think that. Which
I hope it's really firm, and I hope it's just bouncy.
It doesn't look that way, right? I mean, like in pictures and videos, it looks green.
I think they've gotten a lot of rain.
Yeah.
I hope that that's just the error from the pictures and videos.
Some color, yeah.
I want it to look like 06.
Some hue issues.
Just brown. You remember what this golf course looked like in 2006?
Go around.
Adam Scott would blend in.
Go around the room. I made an early pick. This doesn't have to be your official pick. Just which way are you leaning right now?
Unofficial. Scotty.
Yeah, hell yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay. For the sake of being a little different, I mean, I'm all aboard the train. Don't get me wrong, but my unofficial pick is Dustin Johnson.
That would be awesome too. Oh, that would be sick.
I hate it because I thought it was going to be Rory, and then he won the Scottish, and now it feels like I'm just chasing my tail. I'll tell you what, Rom, you have to drive it. You have to. I think it's Rory or Rom. You have to drive it. Scotty.
Hedge
Who's
City over
who's
there.
the best driver in the game?
It's Rory.
Ludwig.
Well, but you don't have to. You don't have to do the thing where he won the week before, so you can't pick him.
Yeah, I pick Rory.
I will say this happened to me back in, I think it was 2019 when I was all over Bernd Wiesberger, and then he won the Scottish, and it ruined it for me.
But Rory can go. I don't know if Bernd can go back to back, but Rory can.
Rory can.
Yeah, I think I think winning is it's not a. He's playing so well that it's more of a boost to his confidence than anything else. It doesn't do a lot for me of like, oh, that he peaked and now he's going to fall off. I just don't know that that's the case.
I think it's a bit of a morale thing. He had so many close calls this year, and he hadn't won on the PGA Tour since October. So to kind of see one fall his way finally, he's got to be feeling really good. And I said he's got to win the Scottish to win the Open. So 1 for 1, soon to be 2 for 2.
You're the National Open king.
Prognosticator.
Me and Rory, we're just picking them off one by one by one.
He's got so many National Opens.
He's taking over the world.
Everyone, like every single one.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, he has.
He's got Scottish, Irish, U.S., Canada twice, Australia, and then the Open.